Everything reminds me of you, but everything is not enough. Feeling out by the ocean, and all of those white hats.
Hey, big Luvalution. One Luvalution, everyone out there, you beautiful beings. This is a Luvalution Podcast number 5. I'm joined by my amazing twin flame, soulmate, best friend in sacred union, Amy.
Thanks for being here, beautiful spirits.
And our son, Sebastian. And our amazing guest, Derek Bartolacelli. So today, what we're going to be talking about, and always at the Luvalution, is the truth, natural laws, objective morality, the ugly truths, how to open your consciousness, free your mind control. We're doing this because we care, and we need to share with humanity these occulted truths. So that's why we're here doing this. Derek, our guest today, we're so excited to have all the way from France, an American in France, a Luvalutionary being, true speaker and seeker, content creator, fusing music, videos with esoteric knowledge and natural law principles. Check out his YouTube channel, Awaken Ya Mind, and where he informs and motivates minds through music mixes. Really amazing artistry. Okay. I call it truth bombs through sound. Anyway, so he also has a Dissolving the Divide podcast series he created with Leslie Powers, an amazing, genuine woman. And also, we had the pleasure of being on that show, so check that out. Anyway, Derek, how you doing, brother? Coming to us across the Atlantic. How are you today?
Indeed, in Juan Pablo. Thank you so much. Or in French, they would say Jean-Paul. Yeah, Amy, Sebastian, all y'all with that heart-based new humanity. That I love that segment you did with Mario West, and I stayed with her for a couple months last year and a little bit of this year, and we spoke on the phone for hours. Us 2, 3, 4. Calling you guys out, chatting it up, getting to know you guys really well. And that was fantastic. Really hold those memories pretty dear, and just like road tripping, like 14 hours straight. It was great to catch a cool, like 2-hour block, chopping it up with y'all. And it's been great to get to know y'all and just having like similar connections and all that. And look, we're all doing podcasts together now finally. So that's awesome. And it was great having you guys on the Dissolving the Divide with Leslie. Really appreciate you guys enjoying the music and having that, true speaker page set up, and flatteringly seeing my face up in there amongst some legends and all that good stuff. So what you guys got going on is keeping me strong.
Right.
It's something else in there because I've been in France for a couple months now. So, but much love to that Lucian.
So Derek was showing his bottle. We have a Luvalution superfood health supplement. Everyone, 2 seaweeds, bladderwrack, and Irish sea moss, along with burdock root, inspired by Dr. Sebi.
This is a seaweed, comes right from the ocean on the rocks, and another seaweed on the rocks, and then a root vegetable. It's amazing. We've been on it for 4 years, and we feel so healthy and vibrant. So thank you, Mother Earth.
Yeah, and I actually got a new gig raking the seaweed right off the rocks, harvesting that seaweed so the people can benefit, humanity can benefit. So anyway, seaweed is an amazing medicine. One of the other weed, the other amazing weed in this world besides the one we all know, of course. That is our true medicine from Mother Earth. But anyway, Derek, how did you get inspired? How did you get into creating? And what motivated you to align with truth? And how did you discover natural laws? Take us on that journey.
Ooh, it's quite a lovely journey because love was involved. Had that kind of real, like, what really activated me even before being like so aware and deep into research and this and that, or even just like activating yourself into the true codes of consciousness that we're supposed to be all be born with. You know, if things weren't so perverted and inverted since eons ago. And yeah, listening to music for a while, you know, in my teens, got keyed into a lot of underground hip hop. And a lot of these brothers and sisters were dropping plenty of knowledge and things of that nature, because one of the natures of that art form is to kind of encode or encrypt certain messages to get to the folks that, like, hey, you know, like, shit's fucked up, you know. And yeah, it's in an African American innovation that just continues to evolve, unfortunately devolve due to, you know, all that, you know, industry corporate bullshit takeover. But not to stray away from that. So yeah, being married and being out in France, like, really I had to be on my toes more than ever. And then, like, thinking about having a child and realizing, like, okay, so I got a decent foundation, but it's, you know, like, you can't just learn everything through one medium like I did with music. And that's not the only thing I did, obviously, but and that was kind of like the forte. So after a while, I kind of just like lit a fire under my ass and just like, okay, how can I teach my kid to be like in such a better well-being state than I ever was, you know, because that's kind of like how I see the evolution through that love also at the same time, you know, having that heart chakra wide open and just, you know, yeah, just operating from there, you know. That's that inner mind's eye, the inner mind's mind, even sometimes. But yeah. And health was a big thing as well, because I stumbled across like eczema a little bit. That shit came out of nowhere in like 2009. And after a while, like I got to take this shit in my own hands. I got to switch up my diet. I got to, you know, take responsibility for stuff. And I ain't trying to see my future like this. And so, yeah. Delved into all types of rabbit holes because I was, you know, I got that Aquarian mind, if you will, and just like to see how everything works and operates a little bit, and how, you know, how we can use things for our benefit, not in a manipulative way, right, in a negative sense, but also see how we are also being manipulated by the system or the man or the big brother or sister or what, you know, whatever, right? So yeah. I was already kind of anti-establishment through, you know, like the counterculture stuff, even like skateboarding and shit like that, even though I didn't fuck around much with that. I played soccer for 20 years of my life because European roots or whatever. I don't know. But that kept me fit and kind of just, I wouldn't say like out of trouble, because I was making enough trouble as a young American Italian rapscallion. But yeah, I'm not French. I appreciate you mentioning that in the beginning, because I've lived in France for 13 years, and like, yeah, I'm in France, and so many videos, and I think a lot of people think I'm French, and
yeah,
I got nothing against those people. I got a lot of love for them folks, and I know them more than all y'all in America for the most part. And I see a lot of projections, in a sense, from just like outdated negative stereotypes sometimes. So anyways, we ain't all about them baguettes and wine, and, you know, not everything is all dandy and fine, but hey.
Yeah, I love the rhyme.
Yeah,
Anytime.
all the time.
So were you raised with religion,
Hell yeah.
brother? Did you have did you have a lot of belief systems that you had to break free from, or were your parents
Luckily, not
open-minded?
really.
Yeah.
My parents are pretty open-minded, liberal. Grew up in San Francisco. Ironically, they met up in a French class in some junior college class that they took years after college, just for kicks and to like meet people. And yeah, it works out. But I'm the one that really speaks French in that family. But c'est la vie. They were pretty lenient as far as like letting me do my thing and all that stuff. They had, boundaries and rules and stuff, and that was totally legit. And might have helped if they haven't had a little bit more, or if, they worked a lot. So I grew up with like 15 different au pairs. So I had like an international background and like extra influx of that, just from folks from even like Peru, Switzerland, Mexico, especially right next to California, and other Europeans. And it was really cool. And I forget a lot of it because I just have like bad memories of my childhood. Like, not bad memories, like I don't have much memories at all. Maybe that's due to too much chronic habituation with certain things of an inhalation, but that's not the biggest issue. But and honestly, I was looking at that as part of my awakening. Like, why the fuck can I not remember like so much stuff, and why is my mind not clear? Why am I not like really grabbing life by these magic hands that we all have? And why the hell are we born and grow up and die with only using like 10% of our brain, scientifically speaking, as they say, whatever? Or just things of like, we have all these like junk DNA, they say, all the experts, right? Bunch of conspiracy theorists on that, right? No, just kidding. Or am I? A little bit. Scientism is sorry. That's the high-speed bullet train. Excuse me.
Wow.
I gotta keep the door open for a moment. Yeah, and wondering why the hell transportation sucks so bad in America compared to Europe. But going back to the transportation within one's own system, that we're comprised of like how many trillion cells? Are we trying to really act like the CEO of that and like speak, as a proper leader of our own self, like from the microcosm to the macro? So like there's so many things to consider. And yeah, I wasn't religious at all, and that was a cool thing. I only went to church like a couple times to like, for my parents, they just wanted to appease some friends or just the occasion of, it's Christmas or whatever. So yeah, Christmas mass and all that stuff, and looking at these wafers, like, okay, so we're symbolically eating a piece of Christ. Like, what kind of cannibalism is this? Like worshiping this dead body on a cross that's like bleeding in front of us. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a watered down. It's a watered down version of a satanic ritual that Catholic Mass is, and that's what the altar is. It's the length of a body, because that's what they put on there in a real ritual. They've watered it down for the Catholics or the exoteric, right? So yeah, it's a shame. I had a very heavy programming religion going every Sunday.
Yeah, you did.
Those guys, they're
and you were outnumbered in your family, hardcore.
Yeah, they exactly. So it was So how did you discover natural laws or discover about the objective morality, and when and where were you when that epiphany occurred?
It's like kind of cliche almost at this point, but 2012. Yeah, I had like a frequency shift and this and that, and like when I was saying earlier, like one is like supposed to be born with these codes of consciousness. We're supposed to be just aligned to natural law. But shit got hijacked, eons ago and all this shit. But and that's part of the reason why we have this quote unquote junk DNA or unactivated DNA and 10% usage of, our brain, this, big old colossal, anyways, cabeza. And what was the question again? Sorry.
Oh yeah. So yeah, basically it's up to the individual to open those dormant strands of DNA. Okay, we have to open and free our minds and raise our conscious level. Right, we're not responsible how we were raised, but we're responsible for healing ourselves from being raised however we were. Right, that's the inner work, that self-respect, self-responsibility that leads to self-love, which is the Luvalution. Just had to say that. Also, yeah, when did you
totally,
and who, yeah,
the natural law, yeah. So yeah, like just awakening to all that. And you hear, so like natural law these days, it's a lot, under how Mark Passio frames it, and that's totally fine. And that, widen the spectrum, like, and like put, great grammar behind so many things that I've just felt within myself already. And also things that I learned from other people. Like I wanted to say, Max Egan. He had a great documentary called The Awakening back in I saw it in 2012 or 11. I think it came out in 2009. Could be wrong, doesn't matter for this time. But yeah, going through the Michael Tsarians, even David Icke's and all these people. And folks like, like in a Project Camelot, Carrie Cassidy. You familiar with her?
No.
Back in the day, she was going to people's houses, interviewing them, and it was really cool. And there was Project Avalon with, I think it was her old partner, Bill something, I think. But they were interviewing so many people and just being so fascinated with all these other researchers and whistleblowers. That seems like a forgotten term these days, right? Remember that one? So people that were working on the inside and they couldn't take it anymore, and so they left and they wanted to blow the lid off this motherfucking bullshit. I got so much respect for those people, and those are heroes, Yeah. But what, they get treated like conspiracy theorists and whatever the fuck, censored, and even put the there's a bid on them and they're dead mysteriously. Oh, fuck that. Yeah. Sorry. So Sebastian.
Oh, no, that's a righteous anger. That's a correct reaction. I mean, we are enslaved by these rulers, so F them. That's the proper reaction, dude. That's how we all got to get pissed in order to change this.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this.
Juan Pablo.
Yeah. Right. It's righteous anger.
I like what you said about that. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna switch it up. You can definitely finish with this little thread of that righteous anger and how we can channel it properly, alchemized, and
Wow. We just got a baby last week. Her name's Petunia, everybody.
Oh, there she is.
She's the newest member. She says, hey.
I got to meet her on a Catterday too. That's awesome. Because we are Saturday, the 28th of October. Isn't that great?
Wow, yes.
Righteous anger, like that fire. Ooh, it burns. But can we tend those fires from within and, not burn everyone else and ourselves from within? Sorry.
You want to say something, honey? But that righteous anger, that'll fuel a Luvalution, a personal Luvalution. That'll piss you off. You got to be pissed off once you discover the truth, because it'll piss you off but set you free once you realize you've been bamboozled and It's just a slow genocide, democide, menticide we're going through when we're honest with ourselves,
And the future generations, we got to think about the future generations. It's our moral obligation to speak that ugly truth, because people, they have their heads up their rear ends.
Yes.
And
indeed. And that, yeah, it's speaking what people don't really want to hear, saying what they don't want to hear. Most people say what everyone wants to hear, and everything's great, la da da. But it's having that courage to say how things actually are, and not caring what others think of you. That we have to be the lion here, not the sheep, right? And that's why you're on here, brother. You're a lion. You took the action through amazing music and artistry, putting that amazing conscious raising, seed planting, amazing that dialogue in the music, helping to
dissolving the divide.
Yeah, exactly.
Your videos, you do a lot of care, and we appreciate you, Derek.
Yeah, brother.
Aw. Thanks so much, y'all. Much love, and yeah, much love to what y'all been doing as well. And yeah, wish I bought one of your hats when I got this. I've been moving around so much that it's hard to like buy merch from other people and like, oh, I'm gonna be here for, and then like all the international shipping these days. What the hell? But anyways.
Oh yeah, no worries, brother.
Yeah.
We'll
So
send you some.
I am a Leo, and it's been. My dad still has some, by the way. Yeah, as a fire sign, growing up, yeah, it's hard to sometimes temper that fire and all that stuff. And like I've been my own worst enemy, and I kind of flipped the script on that. Although I was pissed off as hell in a different way, in a more enlightening way. When I said like, oh, I lit a fire up my ass because I wanted to learn everything and like relearn and unlearn, the bullshit and the propaganda, right? Things that were still clinging on, or residuals, or things I didn't sort out fully enough or wasn't aware of. And that was blindly following along as well. There's so many different degrees of how we're programmed or brainwashed or whatever, right? And it's all about going through the steps of peeling back those layers of onions, or whatever that kind of metaphorically applies. But that fire, like the transmutation of that into pure raw energy that enforces your will force to do something righteous for yourself or for others, or whatever the context is, right? And for me, in this waking up case, it was for me and a possible potential child with the wife I was with at the time. It didn't happen, but it was for the better anyways, because I realized that there was so much I had to learn, and like I thought I knew a good amount of stuff, and like, hey boy, you don't know shit, man.
Yeah.
Go off for a couple months, and just immerse yourself in stuff. It ain't gotta be binge watching and this and that. I don't like that term all that much, especially when it's mostly like, oh yeah, did you check out that new Netflix series? I've been binge watched that in like 36 hours, yo, yeah. As if it's some kind of achievement, It's like, all right, go through, like the marathon lectures of David Icke that he's done decades ago. Read a textbook of his that he written, one of the dozens, or what, all this stuff, and that's just one man out of so many. So there's a world of, you could spend lifetimes researching so many people's works and all these books, even written from antiquity, and going through especially the Hermetica and all that stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of ancient mystery schools that have a lot of good spiritual tools. But yeah, then learning about the tarot.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay to binge watch the truth videos, of course. If you're binge watching garbage, you're just dumbing yourself down. So that's your choice, your free will. What do you care about? Where you paying your attention.
I think too, it's an escape for people to watch things that aren't the truth, because it's a little easier to just escape it. But when you watch the truth, it's like, oh my gosh, wow, it's a little heavy.
Yeah, it creates that emotional reaction or little start percolation, where you start to really say, I was all wrong. When you can get to that point, when I was fooled, I've been fooled, I was wrong, and quiet the ego a bit, that starts your journey on that personal evolution. And
then, oh shit, I got to do something about it.
Yeah.
Boom.
I got to do something.
A lot of action is involved, for sure.
Yeah.
And Amy, what she said made me grin, because I want to play off that, because there's a lot of escapism, and a lot of the point of a lot of media is for people to go through some whatever escapism and all that stuff. But hey, even back when I was binge watching Passio or Ike or Tessarion, whatever, Max Egan, that was a form of escapism for me, of my own damn ignorance. Boom.
Yeah.
How do you like that one?
Yeah, you're unlearning putting the garbage away and downloading some truth,
And then you take action. You're like, okay, I've watched enough, I understand, and I'm going to start teaching. I'm going to start sharing.
And yes, for we have been inspired by those gentlemen as well: Passio, David Icke, Max Egan, Tessarion, Jordan Maxwell. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
We appreciate Laura Eisenhower, what was her name? Kathy
O'Brien. Yeah,
O'Brien.
Thank you, everybody.
All the true speakers and seekers and the whistleblowers here to expose, the lies and the inversion, right? We appreciate all you guys that we're talking about. So thank you for your hard work. And anyway, Derek, we're back to you, brother. And how did you start? When did you start fusing this music?
Yeah, that's a great segue, because I was going to say, I was paying homage to these people. I was incorporating audio samples of these people, like little snippets of talking about a certain subject. And I would have what do I call them? Themed tapestries of truth music or something like that. And because I'll pick a subject more or less that revolves around something like transhumanism, or more spiritual stuff, like something like the lost principle of care, and reigniting that flame of compassion, both of them, because they're compiled grammatically the same. But so after activating and realizing, I learned a shitload in a short amount of time. I feel, I learned a lot, and I need to continue learning, mentally, through reading and, watching people's presentations and all that. But I still feel the fire lit within me for the first time ever to, share. I have to share this. This experience in the feeling is overwhelmingly the shit. It's empowering. It keeps my drive going, and so many other things that come with it: better health, better cognition, and better speech, better interactions with people. For the most part, after you get over your fucking shadow side shit and go through all that, so you can speak to even the sheeple that you call whoever, on ground level, and actually have a possibility to, plant some seeds up in there, even if there's a red pill seed up in there, all that shit. So I felt music was a great medium for me, because that's not to compare at all, because so many DJs have so much music, thousands of albums. I got 2,000 at least, and what I noticed is that like my inner ears opened as well with so much stuff that happened over the course of like a year or so, and I could easily refer to at least 100 or 200 songs that spoke about certain things, or even just like a snippet of that, and it was just like, it was so on the money about something, and like the way it said, it just, I don't know, things just like spark these, keeps the flame lit in a good way, and it keeps the motivation high for me because I listen to this stuff all the time, and I want to share that with others. And when it's along the lines of something spiritually empowering, or things that need to be brought to the forefront of someone's awareness, especially if it's for the first time, not like everyone's got to focus on all the negative conspiratorial stuff, because that counts for a good amount to a certain degree, and then you got to kind of dial it back down and realize like the overall picture and bring everything together and not be so drained by the negative side of things, and find that balance and all that stuff. So yeah, the music really helped for me, especially when I felt like I can't, I'm looking at the Ikes and all these, and people want to say whatever the fuck about them. That's fucking on you. What the fuck are you doing with your life? I was thinking like, I can't do what these people are doing. Not like someone's gonna get to that caliber right off the fucking bat. Not at all. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna baby step it and just share some other people's works a little bit, and like incorporate the music, and just like more music, and then like developed a cool formula and stuff, and just stuck with it, and it was cool like that.
Yeah,
it's a fun way to learn too, through music. I enjoy that.
That edutainment. KRS-One.
Yeah,
he coined that thing, right? Maybe people said in the past, but he has an album called Edutainment. It's quite the classic. I have it signed by him.
nice.
Yeah, saw him only one time for the first time live in a small setting in Santa Rosa, California, of all places, which is right around wine country, Sonoma County, about 45 minutes north of San Francisco. Or San Francisco.
How was that?
Or San Francisco. However people want to dance that disco. Anyways. Things have changed with that whole Silicon Valley effect. I tell you, I can't even like think about that city anymore. No, just kidding. But it's like the soul got sucked out of it because the prices just, blew everyone out of the area. It's like, where are the hippies at?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, there's plenty of homeless folks still, and like that was back during the Reaganomic days when, no more public funding. Not like we should be having to rely on, government funded, institutional things, because there were like mental health buildings full of people, and like all of a sudden funding was cut, and they were kind of just let on the streets. And that's why people that go and stay in like fancy ass hotels in the neighborhood called the Tenderloin realize that it ain't so tender when they see crackheads walking about, or heroin folks, or whatever the fuck, like it's really sad. It's been like that before the Silicon shit. But anyways, we're dragging off subject. What's going on?
Yeah, I've been to that area.
It's just part of where I'm from.
Yeah, we got love for all people out there, planets, Mars, wherever you're hearing it. Doesn't matter. We got to unite. They got us so divided.
Yeah.
Anyway, you ever, let's go on a little lighter subject. You ever see Sasquatch anywhere, or Bigfoot experience?
in people's Facebook feeds. Haven't seen him in person, but and I don't, because we spoke about this on the phone, y'all. I remember this, and I really like the subject, and I really like how someone kind of blew open a whole new perspective for me, hinging off things like, and it doesn't even have to be hollow Earth. Just, since the time of, Atlantis, whatever, or when there's been so many witch hunts, throughout the eons. And maybe they just kind of went underground.
Yeah.
So there's not just one Bigfoot, because he's been sighted all over the world, right? Is he like a vagabond?
No, there's not many. There's not one. There's about 60 different species of Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, or Shawtooth, as they like to be called. But the Earth is hollow, everyone. Just so you know, there's an inner Earth civilizations, and there's hollow Earth civilization. Two different places that are within subterranean.
I got that?
Within the Earth. There's one under Mount Shasta, Helos. You heard of that one?
Huh. Yeah, I'm not read on all that, actually.
Anyway, that's for another talk, but yes.
They live They live with the Earth a lot better than we do. And so they're very worried about us blowing up the Earth, because we are so backwards up here.
And when 6,000 or I don't know, roughly 9,000 years ago, they brought the moon here, and the floods, and they all went subterranean to get away from the mass flooding that in the Ark, Noah's flood or whatever. So that's how they all went under to save themselves. Of course, it's a big lie. Do your own research. But to our knowledge, we know, these civilizations exist, highly advanced, highly conscious. They want nothing to do with us because we're barbarians up here and shoot and kill everything, So that's
not
what
everyone
we know about that. Yeah, not everyone, but they are very they're trying to raise the planet. The planet is raising her frequency. You can go with her, or you can stay in this 3D enslavement, mental prison. So matrix. We choose to raise our conscious level and get out of this by putting out knowledge, because knowledge without any action is useless, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to you, brother. So
it's cracking.
You know what to say? I'm just checking my notes here.
Ask him one of these.
Yeah, I know you got some questions. That's why I was waiting for.
How do you balance yourself between the chaos and the calm? A
lot of trying to step back, see things from a wide perspectives of whatever context or situation, and realize that a lot of times, if you've really done this shadow work and, read into certain things as well, you realize that a lot of people are projecting their own shit onto you. Yet, folks really got to discern the difference between, all right, are you holding yourself accountable, or are you just blaming other people? Like, oh, it's all projections. Like, no, you actually fucked up, brother. Like, but it's like, so yeah, it kind of, what helps me out as well is just plucking one of these things right there, reminiscent, not really, but thinking about the feather of my yachts and how to live light as a feather, because your heart is going to be weighed up on that scale next to it at the end of your life. And what are we holding on to?
Yeah.
Like the triple R: regrets, resentment, and remorse. We got to kind of alchemize that. It's not about letting it go and this and that. No, it's like actually confront it, see what it actually is, make your apologies, you know, especially within yourself and all that, and to others that need to hear it or whatever, you know. And if people did you wrong, hey, that can just be fucking life, unfortunately, because things are so perverted and inverted, like I've said before. And people are running on base level consciousness a lot of times, unfortunately. Yeah. Weren't we at some time, you know, like shit. So we got to kind of crawl up off that, you know, checkerboard, you know, black and white dualistic, lower plane and elevate things. And yes, so a lot of it has to come down to, like, do you truly know yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to even want to know more about yourself? You know?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah.
And you do too. You've taken that journey. We appreciate that. And it's that being your best friend, you know, like you were saying, and getting from the ego in here down to the heart intelligence here. It's that journey is very, very short, but very long and hard to do.
And don't care about what your mom thinks, dad thinks, you know, boss, anybody. Don't give a shit what anyone thinks about you.
Yes. Freeing your mind,
especially if you're on the right path in your mind.
Yeah. Freeing your mind control is that it's the inside job, personal, up to the individual. We have the choice, you know, and that's why we're doing this, and we appreciate what you're doing to help raise awareness through observations and art, you know. Yeah, it's you're real unique, you know. You're not like, but you bring a different uniqueness, brother. No one has that uniqueness that you have, you know.
Yeah, and like I was with you and Amy and Sebastian, everyone. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. We all are equal, but yet so different, and we celebrate our differences and not judge each other and divide each other with our differences.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. And once we get that proper inner balance, there's a lot less division within oneself, and then that's going to ripple out in the macrocosm with other people, because they're going to realize, like, oh shit, that person's whatever, like, and we're going to find common grounds easier with other people that are not on that level, whatever. I wouldn't say our level, or because people are going to be, oh, what, are you on some moral high ground or whatever? It's like, hey, like, the ground is like natural law. Are we going to align to that shit or what? Are you just going to bitch and complain about it? Like, hey, you think you're so cool or whatever? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep, the ego doesn't want to hear natural law. The ego doesn't want to change or, you know, align and change its behavior. No. And that's where a lot of people are stuck, you know. I'm enlightened, but I still eat that animal flesh, you know. How can you consider that? So it's a lot of people think they know a lot, and some people do know a lot, but they don't know themselves, said a wise man. And that's that,
or
knowing
woman.
Thyself. Yeah. Knowing thyself to love thyself. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, there's a lot of proverbs that end like, said a wise man, like, said a wise man, like, ad infinitum, like all these quotes. And it's like, never a woman said that shit. What the hell? Like,
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
where's the balance in
woman
that
said
shit,
it.
right? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I know women birth
Yeah.
children, and we're special. Women are great.
Oh yes. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
put
for
women up
a
on the. Go ahead.
what?
Oh, we put
I was
women
just
up
gonna say,
on a
like, and that
pedestal.
brings it back. It brings it back to balance. You guys are frozen. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
It brings it back to balance. Like, okay, do you have your proper masculine, feminine, archetypal forms of energy balanced within yourself and the hemispheres of your brain and all that stuff? And are you able to, if you're a man, acknowledge and respect a woman for her plight as a woman in this 3D lifetime? And for a woman, can you understand to a degree and respect men at the same time? Like, hey, it's not that hard in the end, and there's these, barriers of certain, ego attachments or programming and blah, 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 that we all kind of need to just shed and dissolve. And not like life is going to be all peachy, because things are always going to come up where there's going to be conflicts down the line with just like simple disagreements of people's opinions or bias or different, likes and dislikes about things, and whether it be relationship, work environment, all these things. And to just, breathing helps out a lot when trying to balance out that moment, especially, like, so Amy taking a good breather there. I feel you. But I like that question about balance, because there's so much to say about it and so much to consider in one's life. And like, it can be so overwhelming, like just like, oh, what I've been through and this and that, and like having to do the shadow work and inner work and that inner healing to get over whatever people's traumas have been in this life. So these negative feedback loops fucking end, and we create new positive loops in replace of that.
Yes, absolutely.
Well said, Derek.
Yes, it starts with the mentalism.
Thank you.
Right.
First principle.
Starts in the head. Yeah. So the inner creates the outer, and it's starting in your head. Right.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I had my channel called Awaken Ya Mind. Because it all goes back to one state of mind, I've been on many places on states of different maps and whatever, but what about my state of mind, and how am I carrying that over from place to place and all that stuff? So
yes,
and from person to person,
I love the name, and it's deeper than just the music. There's that deep message that's really conscious in there, And as conscious beings,
thank you, man. I didn't start with that.
We look for messages. Yeah. Wow.
I actually had that just as like a couple internet forum username, profile name, and then I was like, you know what? That sounds better than D-Rock for my, YouTube DJ moniker name type of thing. So let's roll with that instead. And definitely got to give props to Living Legends, because I didn't bite their style or, their kind of coinage of that word, because, maybe someone else said it or a few others, but the only time I saw it was that that's their song title. That was of a wonderful song that was in one of my first mixes that really would have blown my channel up. But, my channel has been handicapped since, year one, back in 2012. Like when people create channels and stuff, there's got to be some kind of foundation, some kind of reference they can go back to and be like, yo, like, hey, I got a YouTube channel. I'll be like, okay, what's it about? And this and that. It's like, oh yeah, this and that. Like, how do we build a name? How do we, there's so many things to consider. So yeah, I was trying to switch it up and like, all right, so, and that was before fucking, you keyword search awaken, and there's going to be so many different things like awaken your mind and that's fine. There's so many articles online and stuff. And, but yeah, so going back to the music, yeah, my channel is just handicapped with copyright issues on YouTube, especially, and that's where the major traffic is for any kind of viewership, at least on my end. But yeah, it's just been a thorn in my side, and that is what it is. But yeah, that first mix where that song "Awaken Ya Mind" is called "Conjuring Consciousness," and that was kind of my first tapestry that I laid out as kind of like, this is someone's, and it was kind of my soundtrack to my awakening in a sense, and kind of like,
yeah, like a video
in a
journal.
nutshell from A to Z, everything. Yeah. So yeah, these things have been therapeutic for me, to say the least. And yeah, I really hope that it's been somewhat of that for other people, because it's not just for anyone just like, oh, hey, you're asleep on everything, here's this. It's that, like, it's more like, music for anyone who's awake on any level as well, because the messages are universal and it's speaking a lot of people's languages that we're in that network with as well. So as far as like top-notch spiritual lyricism, like some of these mixes I've had, like I haven't heard a combination of like bangers like that in a row, in a sense, like all killer, no filler, as far as like killing the fucking ignorance on shit.
Yeah.
I wish there were more people out there like this, because like I ain't got like the talents of anyone close to like DJ Premier or anyone spinning electronica and all this shit. There's so many different genres of music that we can all tune in with if it was, aligned with all that good old natty law and and the proper ways of living. Remember, that Luvalution, which sorry.
Yeah. Oh, the truth isn't popular, Derek. Remember, we're lonely. We're a lonely bunch, remember, because we're not going to get the views. We're not going to get, people want the fluff, and that's what gets the view. The fluff that's sparkly.
But we have to change that.
Yeah. We're doing
totally
what we're doing to create that that higher conscious level. Not that we're on it, it's doing your own research. We're trying to inspire people to wake themselves up, right? Balance themselves, do that inner work, because a battery won't work without a positive or a negative. You need both at the same time. So
is that the law of polarity, brother?
Yeah, basically. I mean, so there you have it. It's as simple as that. We need that balance of positive, and we got to look at the ugly truth. The what is. It's simply what has taken place, what is taking place, and what will continue to take place if we do nothing about it. So anyway, brother, we wanted to just say thank you so much, and start wrapping it up. Give you the last word. A message for the youth, brother. What would you say to them? Because that's a big group of people we need to help and inspire.
Hey guys, how you doing? We've all been there before. Anyone my age or younger, and who's older than you. And you're gonna go through so many changes of perspectives, and try not to hurt yourself too much in the process, and don't lose sight of and lose face in the moment of just the the longevity of your life. You know, we're supposed to be living well beyond 100 years old, and we're not supposed to be these tattered old fogies that we unfortunately see sometimes, you know, whatever. Like, there's so much to live for. There's so much to experience. There's so much to love about life. But there's also a lot of stuff to avoid as well. And if we get caught up in that, we have to understand how to maneuver through it, heal from it, and roll with the punches or whatever. And, you know, you got to dust the dirt off your shoulder in an alchemical fashion. And it's nice to be cool about it, but if you're flashing a little too hard, it's going to bite you in the ass. So, like, yeah, there's a ways to treat, you know, your fellow brother or sister a right way, whether it be platonic or sexual or whatever. And we can do better than chivalry. So why don't you show me?
Yes. Well said.
And with that said, I have a couple mixes that, you know, evoke those sentiments, especially in the Femc Divinity category. There's 3 mixes on that. The first one, first and foremost, that's pretty much what that one's about. That divine love, and not just love making and this and that, but just acting from the heart. There's so many ways to express ourselves through this, you know, oscillating life force giving super organ that we have in our bodies, and we cannot never take that for granted. And if it breaks, it's repairable. You're going to be okay. We can live another day. It's not the end of the world, even though it may seem that way. But I am in the process of putting out a new mix dedicated to y'all, titled Luvalution.
Oh, wow.
And
Thank you.
For sure.
Hey, that,
Awesome. Good to hear it.
hey, that segues into, so where can the people see your work? Obviously, Awaken Ya Mind YouTube channel. And where else can they see your work? Dissolving the Divide YouTube channel, right?
Like you said, those 2 places on YouTube. I'm also on 7 different platforms under my name, Derek Bartolacelli. There's not just, you know, outside of YouTube, there's NewTube, BitChutes, Odyssey, that has my whole discography. That it's so easy. I don't even think you need a profile to just go on to any video, click it, touch another button, download, and you're going to get it in however long it takes your internet to permit that speed to happen, whatever. So, I mean, it's just better if I share with you my link tree, because I kind of pimp that out. There's like 20 different links on there, and y'all are on there, and I got a lot of other, you know, great friends and colleagues and other folks, you know, One Great Work Warriors, a group of 5 other gentlemen that we, you know, have our monthly videos. Chris Jansen and the boys, as I like to call it, you know.
Nice.
Live streaming from End Evil Studios. But so I like to be involved in a lot of things, and I want to delve into so much more. And I definitely want to get you guys back on. I'm gonna create a website under a different name in the future.
Wow,
but
great.
Awesome job, Derek.
Wow. All right. Well, we're excited to see that. Anyway, an amazing content creator, Derek, a true Luvalutionary, a friend, and an amazing being. We love you, brother. One Luvalution. And wanted to just say thanks for chatting
much
with
love,
us.
y'all.
This has been a real pleasure. And we love you from across the Atlantic.
Yeah, much
Thanks
love,
for
y'all.
having
I miss y'all. I'm gonna come out to visit y'all sometime in the future, and yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. We'd love to have
looking
you
forward
anytime
to
you're ready.
what you guys got coming out in your podcast as well.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes, more exciting Luvalutionaries like Derek in the future. And remember, free your
fuck
mind
yeah,
control. Know thyself to love thyself, and start your try to pull your head out of your ass. Only you can do it.
Take care, beautiful spirits. Much love.
Peace.
yeah.
We love you.
Peace, y'all. Merci beaucoup.